This is currently the strongest Werewolf Druid setup in the game. This build matches Uber bosses under seconds while staying insanely tanky thanks to our huge energy shield pool and can do any fully juiced map of your choice. The mobilities guide is also fully updated with everything you need to know. What's up guys, Pidget here. This is my Uber endgame-ish update for the Werewolf Druid, and this time I switched fully to CI. We almost reaching 10k energy shield while we can do any juice maps of our choice and also can delete Uber bosses under second. Even Uber Arbiter of Ash is not a problem to us. It can die very easily under or freeze duration. And how we reached the CI and all of this damage? Well, so first let's start with the damage part. The damage part got solved by Oracle. As I mentioned in my before the league started, I planning to use Oracle, but I was needed gear for it and I got my gear, so I made a swap from the shaman. Doesn't mean the shaman is bad for the druid, it's just better very late game when you want to do like juice maps and also Uber bossing content. And the energy shield pool is coming from the tree because still energy shield is just insanely strong in this game, and I feel like this is the best way to scale your survivability, as you can see here. So by the way, since I made my swap to energy shield and CI, I literally did not die and I leveled to 94 without one single death from like 90, so it's kinda strong. Why I was doing very juiced Abyss content with Rouge Exiles and also was doing, you know, bossing content as well. I changed my whole gear since the last update video and there is a lot of things to cover, so let's start with the weapon because I got a new weapon as well and I crafted this one. This has tons of physical damage and also a very huge amount of critical hit chance because the critical hit chance is very important stats on the weapons, and also it has +5 to level of all attack skills, which is a massive damage upgrade as well, and also it has crit damage bonus. And also I'm using here in my weapon Farul's Rune of the Hand, so this is increasing the attack damage against rare and unique enemies. This is worth to sacrifice the physical damage rune, and the other one is just a greater iron rune, and simply as that. So this is how my weapon looks like. And now let's talk about the whole defensive and how I can reach that much energy shield, so 9.8k. So let's start with the body armor. The body armor is a very nice piece of gear. It has tons of energy shield and basically this is tier 1 as a prefixes, so it can barely get better than this, and also it has faster start of energy shield recharge. Getting that stat is very important, especially when you have 4 seconds by default, so this is lowering down to like 3 seconds, so that is kind of a big deal, especially on juice maps when you know when you traveling pack to pack, it's just recharging itself very easily, and also a tiny bit of fire resistance. And the helmet is a fine piece of work. So this is also tier 1, sadly tier 3 hybrid, but it's a 520 energy shield helmet with critical hit chance on it, and this helmet, I can tell you, that is insane, as you can see here. Gloves is also very important, so these gloves is a pure energy shield base as well, and also I not fully gone full energy shield because I got odds that cold damage to attacks, which is kinda insane in the damage, by the way, and also I sacrificing a little energy shield to get that one, like 200-300 energy shield, but it's worth. And also on these gloves, as you can see here, attack speed as well, which is making this build insanely smooth to play because you can just literally very freely just attack like that fast, right? So it's kind of good, although I was needed to cap my resistances, so using this all elemental resistance rune inside. On the boots, guys, on the boots you just only want movement speed, and the more energy shield is the better, and I feel like this is almost the highest energy shield that you can get. You can get a little bit more, but that is a very expensive, and also I have resistances on this one as well. And now the amulet and the ring setup, because this is where our damage is coming from. Let's start with the first ring. This gives us a tons of extra damage to attacks, as you can see here. You looking mostly flat cold damage, that is the most important one, and then lightning and fire, and physical is the last one because the the elementals we scaling, so we increasing the damage and so on. And life, obviously guys, you don't need that one. I was just get that one while I was crafting this item, and I got tons of lightning resistance attributes and rarity, a tiny bit of rarity. This is the only rarity in my gear. And the other ring is also a very nice ring, so it has a very high lightning damage to attacks and cold damage to attacks as well, while also I needed physical attack damage leashed as mana, very important. You will see why later on. And the omelet is the biggest energy shield source for this build, because as you can see here, it gives us 82 maximum energy shield and also 60% increased energy shield, while also providing us spirit and crit damage bonus. We need spirit, exactly 40 spirit on the amulet, because what auras we using, very important. And also we anointing overwhelming strikes, so increased critical chance for attacks and also increased critical damage bonus for attack damage, and also more stun build up with critical hits. We basically critting very often thanks to the Oracle Ascendancy. Now the passive tree changed a lot. I mean a lot. So the starting zone, we taking here the Guardian of the Wilds, Primal Spirit and Harbinger of Disaster. This is not really surprising. We taking here the Anger Management. This is only available with the Oracle Ascendancy because this is only reveals when you taking the Unseen Path notable on your Ascendancy. This is provide you a lot of maximum rage, and the maximum rage currently 69. Nice, right? Then let's move on to the next one. So we taking Reinforced Barrier because that is providing us energy shield, even more energy shield, and also we taking here the Bonded Precision for more critical hit chance because we scaling critical hit chance, right? We taking here the Primal Rage and also here the Calculated Hunter, that is although lowering down our skill speed, so our attack speed, but we gaining a lot of crit damage bonus, which is very welcomed for this build, and also increasing our crit hit chance. And here we're taking the Sigil of Lightning, Sigil of Ice and Sigil of Fire. We can benefit all of them thanks to our extra fire damage from the tree, you will see in a second, and also we getting the Sigil of Lightning pragged with we have lightning damage, and we have also have the charged mark that is proccing every single time when we activating the mark on the enemy. So this is how you gaining all the benefits of these ones. And we're taking here the Piercing Claw and the Swift Claw for skill speed and penetration and more critical hit chance and critical hit damage scaling here. And here we're taking the Frozen Claw and Spirit of the Wolf and Ancient Aegis. This is not new, such as like the Spirit of the Bear as well. So basically the tree from this point is almost the same as my other versions, although we starting pathing to the Chaos Inoculation. We taking in the meantime Enchanted Barrier and also the Patient Barrier, and here we taking Chaos Inoculation, right? And also, as you can see here, there is a circle because this is a keystone. We can take very nice nodes. So let's start with the defensive because I liking that, right? We using the Abasement and also Shimmering Mirage. This will provide us elemental element threshold, so we will become almost impossible to freeze and like chill and ignite as well, while we also have very high stun threshold as well thanks to the Abasement. And now the damage. So we're taking here the Tempered Mind. We care about the increased critical damage bonus, not the physical damage, because this build is not scales physical damage at all. Critical damage bonus is just a must and insane. We have pure chaos, gain 11% of damage as extra chaos, absolutely welcomed. And we're taking here increased fierce build up and also increased damage against frozen enemies because we frozening enemies, right? And because we're frozening, we can take the Heavy Frost, increase freeze build up, and hits ignores non-negative elemental resistance of frozen enemies. This is why we don't need any sort of cold penetration, because we ignoring just every single time the enemy resistances, because when you just mapping, you freezing enemies. When you bossing, you freezing the boss. So you can get literally from this node like 40% more damage. I'm not kidding, this node table is providing us 40% more damage on its own. And the reason why you can have this big circle here, because you're taking the end with relatives. So non-keystone passive skill in medium radius of allocated keystone can be allocated without connected to your tree. Very important, and I feel like this is the only part that we can take, because every single one, every other keystone is either a downside or just not even worth to take, such as like Pain Attunement or Blood Magic, right, on CI build, like, or you taking this notable when you cannot recover energy. So this is the only keystone passive that we can take and make benefits very, very easily, and this is providing us a lot of extra damage. And the Javels, guys, this build is using 3 Javel. One here, increase maximum energy shield, crit chance, and also increase damage by shapeshifted. Ignore the damage taken before life, that is not working. And we have here maximum energy shield, crit damage bonus, additional ailment threshold, and skills and skill speed by shapeshifted. And the last one is here the maximum energy shield, crit chance, and increased damage by shapeshifted. Once again, technically speaking, you can get like crit damage on this one, but that would be very expensive. Maybe I will upgrade the build a little bit further, and then we will getting all the crit damage bonuses from there. But it's right now that is what I'm using. Now the Ascendancy, guys. So the Ascendancy is we taking the unseen path we was seeing here, and also Entwined Realities. This one is already I've showed to you. And we taking the lesser harm. Enemy critical hit chance against you is unlucky. Damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky. It's not sounding too good, but why you doing Jewish maps like crit damage on the maps, crit chance, that is lowering literally half of the enemy chance to get crit by them, which is kind of nice. And also, you know, the damage range getting lower down. And here we taking the forced outcome, inevitable critical hits. Now that node is literally granulates you 100% crit chance, although every single time when it rolls against the critical hit chance, it slower downs your critical hit damage bonus. So this is why you still need critical hit chance investment. And if I taking the PoE as an example, so we have 87% effective crit chance, as you can see here, because of this notable. That is means, by the way, literally like lucky. This is like lucky crit, by the way. And also I include here the less critical damage bonus from the Ascendancy already. So that's why my crit damage bonus is kind of low, right? But because if I removing this, you can see here it's obviously goes up, but this is not how much crit damage you have. So keeping this in mind, and this is how this Ascendancy node works, and it's kind of good for this build, I feel like. But the main carry is the unseen path and the Entwined Realities. Now the skill gems. Let's start with the shred. So on the shred, guys, you taking Crescendo 2, Blindside, Concentrated Area, Long Fuse, and Overextend. Now we activating the Blindside with our Thunderstorm, because we linking blind here, so the target will be blinded and we will gaining a lot of benefits, as you can see here, and also more critical hit damage bonus as well. And the Long Fuse is just pure damage increase, because the detonation time is whatever, and also this ability is not a grenade skill, so we can detonate them very easily. So this is just a 35% more damage multiplier to our ice shards, and the Overextend grants you 30% more critical damage bonus, even more critical damage bonus. So you get the point of why we care about critical damage. And the Lunar Assault, we using Oshin's Oath. This is why we was needed, if you're remembering, Monolith on the ring, or you can get Monolith on your gloves. It doesn't matter where you're getting your Monolith source, very important. And we're using Rapid Attacks here, Elemental Ornament 2, Bathar Vengeance, and Ancestral Call. Although while you bossing, so like Uber bossing, like Sashed, King of the Mist, Uber Arbiter, you taking the Deep Freeze instead of the Ancestral Call, because this is increasing the freeze duration. So we have a very long freeze duration, and you can and we can make benefits out of all whole, you know, skill tree part when we building damage up against immobilized or frozen enemies, right? So this is a huge damage multiplier, even if it's not looking like. Herald of Ice for clear with Cold Attunement, Frozen Spite, Magnifying Aura 2, and Elemental Ornament 2. Why you mapping you using Herald of Ice? Why you bossing? You will use Convalescence, and you taking here cooldown recovery 2, prolonged duration 2, and second wind. What is this ability is doing? It will immediately start the recharge rate of your energy shield. Very important on boss fights. When you're taking a hit, you can just press literally, and then it will activate your 1.2k recharge per second. So basically, you almost immortal on the duration unless you're getting one tabbed or something like that. But honestly, I don't think besides Uber Arbiter of Ash can something one tap this build in any situation. We using cross slash here with close combat 2, cold attunement, elemental armament 2, and rage forge. Honestly, this ability is almost whatever what you linking, because this is just serving as a purpose to detonate all the ice shards, and basically that's it. And we're using here the pounds with Mark of Siphoning to charge mark, freezing mark, and blazing critical. Now this is additional leech that is helping on boss fights, charge mark, and when you triggering your mark, it will trigger the shock ground. So the shock ground activating the sigil of lightning. So this is a very big damage upgrade, and also freezing mark for extra cold damage. And we taking blazing critical every single time when you land a critical strike with this. Spoiler alert, you will always crit with this one. You will gaining a lot of extra damage as fire. We're using here Eternal Rage with Clarity 1 because I cannot fit in the Clarity 2, and this is providing us the Rage regen, which is very important because that is a huge damage multiplier, literally a 69% damage multiplier on its own because of the Rage effect. We're using Lunar Blessing with cooldown recovery 2, Elemental Ornament 2, Second Wind 3, and prolonged duration. And not surprised, guys, this has 100% uptime easily, so you can just keep up by mapping, bossing, whatever you doing. And Thunderstorm once again with prolonged duration and blind, and this ability is increasing the likeliness. This ability is increasing the freeze build up. This ability is increasing the freeze build up and also the shock chance build up. But honestly, we have granulated shock, so we're just getting benefits from the freeze build up and also the blind once again for our shred attack with the blind side. So guys, this is the end of this I feel like almost journey. I will start min-maxing a little bit of this one, but guys, now I can safely say this is the strongest version that you can play. I not seen anybody playing this version. Even on I check PoE Ninja, literally they have like 6k energy shield, so they not even close to this level. And also the damage is just insane, guys. So killing Uber Arbiter of Ash under seconds is just mind-blowing to me, even with the newly buffed, you know, defensive window at the start is just insane. So imagine without that. And honestly, guys, I hope you will enjoy that one and have a nice time with this one. And guys, if you have any question or any need of help, you can find me on twitch.tv/project2, or you can leave a comment here and I will try to answer to your questions about this build, how you can, you know, reach this level and so on. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was Project. See you next time.